So, so you said, come with something that is really annoying you because that's super entertaining. And nothing has annoyed me since you told me that. I'm like, I'm trying to, on a normal day, I only have to open my eyes, check my email or the news or walk in the street and look around, and I have things infuriating me. But you tell me to bring something, and like I love my fellow man, all the news is good. But the truth of the matter is, we're men of a certain age, and every fucking day, the Reaper sticks his hand on my shoulder and says, "Ah, you ready, boy?" I'm like, not yet. Hang on. I got some shit to do here. Let me at least have a piss before you take me out, And, then he goes away. It's like, I thought you were coming for me. He says, I want to take you before you've had your piss. So, now that you're pissing, I want to find another moment of discomfort for you because I'm not letting you, go like in your sleep. That's not happening. You're not getting, you're not going to be in the middle of, a nice orgasm and have a heart attack. You're not going to just like watch your favorite TV show, put your head on your pillow, and then I just come and lift your spirit out. No, I'm not even going to let you take a piss. It's all scary. Let's face it, you don't want to sit there and think of it too long. Like when the Reaper comes in the morning for me, as he invariably does, and I shunt him off while I, attempt to get out of bed and do my ablutions. You don't want too much time to think about it anyway. It's just like, it's all abstract. Even if you see the fucker at the door, at the window. Was the man with the side at the window? But when he starts sharpening it and moving in closer, when the doctors have said, yeah, well, you got 36 hours, that's just sadism, man. That's just, you got to figure out how to skip out quickly, like catch yourself on a high note. It's like, like, you do something like, I don't know, you eat a bowl of delicious ice cream and you're like, hey, I'm in a good mood. Take me out now. So, I don't want to linger. I'm like feeling, I had 2 glasses of wine. I had a bowl of delicious chocolate ice cream. And like, I'm feeling a little ebullient, okay, grab me now. Don't fucking.
I've always said that the minute I hear the term terminal cancer, I'm heading straight to the pizzeria, going to pitch a tent, and until it's over, I'm just going to be ingesting the most awful foods that I haven't had in the last 10 years. The most unhealthy. I'm just going to say to the guy, make it, yeah, just fucking make it as disgusting, just extra cholesterol, extra saturated fat. I said, if I'm still alive tomorrow morning, you lose your tip.
Exactly right. And you line up those cigars, you start pouring bourbons and eating pizza, and it's like, terminal cancer ain't getting me, motherfucker. I'm popping this heart before dawn.
Don't leave out the hookers. Don't leave out the hookers.
Don't leave out the hookers. That's exactly correct.
I went on to the YouTube and I looked at some people, and it's mostly primitive entertainment where we'll fit in nicely. But
the primitive part we got down.
We got that down. Yeah. My concern is we got it down to that people will look at us and they'll go, oh my God, what the hell do they think makes them so entertaining? I talk to my penis 24 hours a day. So the conversation I have with them while I'm actually trying to pee, generally speaking, isn't much different.
I never speak to him. I just lie and I fucking pretend shit. Like I get thoughts and I make believe I'm in a public place. So he just starts talking, because I know, I mean, you can't be honest with your dick. Let's face it. Has your dick ever been honest with you? Never. Never.
No, no.
How many times has your dick said, "Oh, stick it in there. It's all going to work out"? No. Come on. Come on. I'm not going to ever tell my dick the truth. Ever. Ever. I learned that, in high
Oh,
school.
I didn't say I told it the truth. I just said I talked to it.
Okay. Yeah, but if you talk that much, you'll accidentally reveal something. And it's just like the less you say to that fucking thing, the better.
I'm just,
Your dick has never done right by you.
boy,
It doesn't
that's
piss
the
when you
truth.
want it to. It doesn't go into the correct vaginas. It doesn't do anything right. So you just like cut it off. I don't mean that literally, but just like stop communicating.
I remember back in sleepaway camp, the counselor instructed us to come up with a name for our dick. And he said this was a name that you were going to have to, you were going to state it to the group, and you're going to have to promise that was going to be, you were going to have to commit to that name for the rest of your life. And we all laughed, but we all took the oath. And this contest really meant a lot to us. The next day, and in fact,
It's a lot of pressure, man.
It was a lot of he came in with a 6-pack of cupcakes, chocolate cupcakes.
Not beers?
We're 12 years old, 11, 12 years old.
So what? You're naming your dicks, you deserve a beer.
I wish I brought that up at the time. He comes in with the cupcakes, and he announces whoever has the best, and we're all going to vote on it. He's not even going to sit in judgment. That's how democratic a guy this was. We're all going to vote on it.
What was his name?
And
John
everybody's
Kennedy?
doing it. What's that?
What was his name? John Kennedy?
John, yeah, Smiling Jack. That which by the way wouldn't have been a bad name. Anyway, so they're going through the names, and I came up with.
If only you could go back in time and be Smiling Jack.
No, I won. I won the contest, and I'm about to tell you the name that I committed to and took an oath to uphold for the remainder of my life. And that name was Fearless Frank. Fearless Frank, which later on became a great source of irony for decades. Because every time it seems like every time you get into that situation, you're always saying, not, oh, I'm so confident that this first exposure to this latest young lady is I'm confident that she's just going to love everything that goes on. Just the opposite. You're always a little bit insecure. So Fearless Frank spent his entire life a little bit insecure.
Cowering behind the furniture.
Cowering behind the fabric.
So,
but no, he turned out to, he was a good little friend, and he came through when I really needed him.
Well, his name was Fearless Frank. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. Did you talk to him sometimes? Like, Frank, come on, we know you're fearless. Come on, get going there.
What's interesting is the women would.
The women would say, did they call him Fearless or Frank?
It was part of my first date, which is probably why there were very few second dates. But I would always explain to them that if they wanted to become friends with him, that they might as well know him on a first name basis. And his name is Fearless Frank. And they would actually say, come on, Fearless Frank, what the hell are you doing just lying there? Come on. And very often, their cheering him on was just what I needed.
Really? That's a lot of pressure being cheered on. Did you ever have
What's ironic is he was Fearless Frank when I was 11 or 12, when it was easy for him to be fearless. 6 or 7 years later, Fearless Frank rethought his position.
Did you ever have a date that said, "Can I call you Fear for short"? That would be difficult.
There was actually,
you can call me Frank.
There was actually this woman named Rena. She was a real estate agent in Los Angeles. Rena. She was mid-30s, as was I at the time. We had an argument because she wanted to rename him. She did not like Fearless Frank. She thought it was arrogant and misogynistic. I wish I could remember what she wanted to give him, some stupid, woke name. I said, I think you're missing the point of naming a penis.
There wasn't even wokeness back in those days.
Oh, there was always wokeness. They just didn't know what to call it.
They didn't know
Politically
what to call-
correct.
Holy
Politically correct.
shit. She wanted to rename.
She wanted to rename. She was offended. She didn't say to me, you know what? I'm offended that you named your penis in the most arrogant way. So we're never referring to that again. I don't want to hear about your penis having a name, a nickname, a surname, any kind of name. I don't want you ever to reference your penis as anything but a penis. She didn't say that. She said, from now on, we're going to call it Wendell, or we're going to call it Sean, or whatever the hell she came up with. I don't even remember. But she actually, and it annoyed her that I didn't say, okay, from now on, my penis is going to be called Gregory. That's a good name for a penis, Gregory, or Alexander.
It's just a name, but Fearless Frank, she wouldn't have minded if he was called Frank. She called him Fearless Frank. So you said, oh, you're absolutely right. Can we rename him? I was just kidding anyway. That's not his real name. His real name is Timid Timothy.
Timid Timothy.
Would that have been okay with her? I said, oh, okay. Now let's coax Timid Timothy out of his shell, shall we?
I wouldn't want him to be called Frank without Fearless in front of him. If his name was just Frank, I would have possibly agreed with him. I would have said, you know what? Instead of Frank, I'll go with Alexander. What the hell do I care? Fearless Frank gave him his identity.
Yeah,
Fearless Frank gave him his courage.
Objected to the fearless part.
Yeah.
Because she thought you were bragging, which is, let's face it, when you're naming your dick, you're kind of supposed to brag about it. First of all, you fucked up telling her your dick's name.
It was part of my conversation. It was part of my repertoire. I mean, there reaches a point. Let me tell you something. I'm not good at relationships. I never was. But there reaches a point when you say to yourself, okay, I'm tired of playing this game. I could wait months before I find out this woman doesn't have the type of sense of humor she's going to need to go out with me, or I can find out right now. To a second date. This is the deal breaker. If she can actually, and there were plenty who could actually have a conversation with me about this, and we could laugh about it and get drunk while we were talking about it. Yeah, those were good. I said, you know what, this woman's okay.
Look how it served you.
It gave me 5 minutes of conversation on a first or second date.
So you
an
used
unusual conversation. I like to think that she went home and she told her friends, she goes, this guy's either insane, or I don't know what the other option would have been actually. But I guarantee she went home and told people about this. And she didn't talk about when we were talking about what was on the menu.
I mean,
it's the outrageous that gets remembered.
Yeah. I think she probably told her friends, I dated this guy. He had no game. He told me the name of his penis on our first date. And it was Fearless Frank. And her friends all laughed. And I would imagine, I know that you awaken in the middle of the night with cringing memories, but you should add this to that list. Why did I ever tell a woman that my dick's name was Fearless Frank? That's something like you'd tell her after 3 years of marriage. As a kid, we used to name our dicks like things. You can't tell a first date that.
Hey, I had to be as fearless as Frank. Otherwise, I wasn't living up to my end of the deal.
All